Walked in, but glad Greg was here. But we had Josh too. We had Josh if something popped off. Yeah. I may have to come a little closer for your grandma. And we can be a little bit more intimate today since it's just a few of us. But I'm so glad that you all are here today. I know Greg's going to have to skedaddle a little early, but I still got you a pencil and paper to participate when we do our activity. But thank you all for being here. I really am glad that you're committed to learning more about how you can be healthy. And so I hope that you all get a lot out of this presentation. So as you all know, my name is Maggie Bell. I'm a registered dietitian and a registered nurse. I have actually been doing this for over a decade. I've been a dietitian since 2011 and I became a nurse in 2017. So of course, as you all know, I have my own nutrition and wellness business where I specialize in weight loss and blood sugar management. So yes. So today, you all, we're going to be talking about 3 practical ways to jumpstart your health and reach your goals. 3 practical ways. Is everybody ready? Yes. Okay, let's get to it. So in this presentation, we're going to identify, rewire, and rebuild. And so the first step is to identify. We're going to identify the problem, you all. What has been holding you back from achieving your health goals? We're going to talk about it. So how many of you all say summer is around the corner, or I have this event, or just to bring a little bit closer to home for most people, you know, this is a new year, new me. I'm finally going to do what I've been saying I'm going to do. I'm finally going to get in shape. How many of you all have ever said that? Okay, I say it every new year, I say it, and every summer I say it. So you're not alone. I'm in the same, I do the same thing, and I'm a dietitian and a nutritionist. So talk to me, you all. Tell me some of the goals that you have set for yourself in the past, or maybe now, because summer is around the corner. What have you told yourself that you're going to do? Okay, KK, what have you told yourself?
Start going back to the gym.
Okay, that's a good one.
On the bicycle. I love the bicycle.
That's a good one. Who else?
I said I would start walking the natural trails for my exercise.
That's a good one too. What about you, Sister Chisholm?
Going back to the park.
Because
Big Dam Park.
yeah, the bridge. Okay, so I'm assuming to walk. What about you, Greg? What have you said that you're gonna do?
Yeah, be more consistent with my workout.
Okay, which is what?
Exercise. Yeah, I get on the elliptical. I get on the treadmill. I lift a little bit.
Okay. So those are all really good. And so my next question for you is, how many of you all have actually done that? Have you've gone back to the gym? Okay, you raised your hand like you did it.
I can't find my card.
Okay, that's an easy fix, and we're gonna talk about that. Okay, Greg, so you have done that?
Yeah, but I'm not as consistent. My job getting too much. I have to start shaving stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so you did it, but you really kind of didn't do it because your goal was to be consistent, but you're still not consistent. Okay, so what do you feel like keeps you from reaching that goal that you set for yourself? So you've already said it's your job. KK said she can't find her card. What about you, Miss Bev?
I'm active with family quite a bit, and I'm just so active running around with granddaughter, daughter, brother, and sister, so.
Right, so your life responsibilities have...
Yeah, right. Stop me from doing a lot personally. personal for myself.
Right, right. And what about you, Sister Chisholm? What's kept you from going to the Big Dam Bridge?
Nothing.
All right.
I just have to motivate myself to do it.
And that's a good lead way into my next one. You are the problem. You are the reason why you have not reached your goals, guys. So you all came up with some things that are relevant, but at the end of the day, it's all you. You are the reason why you have not reached your goals. And so we really have to acknowledge that. And when we acknowledge that and really allow it and accept it, then we can move forward and reach our goals. So rewire. So we've identified the problem. That was the first step. Now I want to rewire your thinking and your mindset. That's the next step. So I found that on your health and wellness journey that your mindset is your most important thing. And that's because if your mind is in the right place, your body will follow. And I think really in the house of God, we should be the most positive, optimistic, goal crushing people in this place. But we're not. We're actually kind of the most opposite, and we say things, and it's really disheartening because we say things like, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can, we quote all these scriptures and we say all these things. But then when it comes to us and actually doing it, we don't believe it. And I know this for a fact because I've been on the call with a lot of you all, not you all, anybody in here, your friends and your cousins and your other brothers and sisters in Christ. And they will say, I want to lose 10 pounds. But then as we start talking, they really want to lose 50 or 60 pounds. But they put a low number because they feel like they don't want to disappoint themselves. And deep down, they really don't think that they can do it. And so what I really want us to understand is that you can achieve anything that you set your mind to. One, you're made in the image of God. So you can you're capable of anything. And I think it's just really our mind holding us back. And what I want us to think about too is, y'all, do we really believe the scripture that says there are no respect of persons, that God made us all equal? He has no favor towards anyone. So let's get away from health and just think about even in the mindset of our finances, because there's no difference between us and Jeff Bezos, us and LeBron James, or whoever, has a lot of money or has a lot of success. There's no difference between them and us except mindset. They believed that they could do it and they went after it. Now, of course, we all have different talents and gifts, but we all have something within us that we can be successful with and that will help us to live an abundant and prosperous life. So just think about that. Our mindset is what's really holding us back. So what I want us to do is write down 3 health goals, and I want us to be as specific as possible. Specific as possible. What are 3 health goals that you want to achieve? And I'm going to write mine down. And like I said, be as specific and honest as possible. Be honest. Like I said, some people say they want to lose 10 pounds when really they want to lose 50. So be honest. Let's take a few minutes and do that. 3. right. Got a couple that are still working. That's good. You're thinking. So while they're still working, let's hear from you, Greg. What were your 3 specific and honest health goals?
Eat healthier, cut more fat, and be consistent in workout hours.
Okay, those are good. What about you, Miss Bev?
Mine was to lose 20 to 30 pounds.
Okay.
That's something I need to work on.
Okay.
And less fat, fried food.
Oh,
Fried food.
I like that. That's very specific.
And to walk, exercise more.
Okay, I like those. What about you, KK? What are your 3 health goals? Specific and honest.
Well, I want to lose at least 40 to 50 pounds.
Okay.
And I want to learn how to eat the right foods to keep my manage my sugar.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that. I like that. You're in the right place. Sister Chisholm, what about you?
Can't do the dirt.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I didn't write it down yet.
Oh, you didn't do it. Okay.
Still thinking.
Think about it. Those 2 were really good. Okay. What about you, Sister Chisholm?
I said, walking more, cutting out fats, and stop eating late at night.
Oh,
Late at night.
that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, mine are that I want to go to the gym at least 3 days a week at 6 a.m. I want to be consistent with my wellness schedule, like getting adjusted and going on walks and like getting in the sauna and things like that. And then my goal weight is 130 pounds. That's where I want to be, 130 to 135. I can't look over at Josh because he makes
That would be nice.
he makes he makes faces. So
Fooling me or telling me the wrong thing.
and you know what? And I hate I said that because I always teach people don't look at the scale. But you know, I said be honest and specific, and for me that's what I want.
Okay.
So
30, you got to gain some weight.
Really?
no, I'm heavier than I look. All right, and so now, guys, I want us to develop a plan. I want us to really sit, because we made specific goals. So now I want us to sit and think about how are we going to make that happen? How are you going to find foods that are going to help you balance your blood sugar? How are you going to be more consistent with going to the gym? How are you going to be more consistent with exercise? How are you going to do those things? Let's think about those things and write them down. I'm doing my pen. Because this is where we have our disconnect, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more. But how are you going to achieve these things? And I was going to say that it may take care of itself. That's a good point. So that makes it even easier.
Number 1 is the issue.
You don't have to follow me. I'm coming right back.
Sleeping habits. I don't like to get up early in the morning.
That's
Do everything.
my personal.
I like it when y'all are thinking. Got you right where I want you. Josh, I should have gave you a pen and paper. He didn't come here to learn. He came here to work, huh? So I'll start with mine while Sister Chisholm and Sister Ridgeway finish up. You all can keep going, it's fine. So I said my goal weight was a certain amount. So and really going to the gym will help with that. And so go to the gym at least 3 days a week to do that at 6 a.m., pack my clothes the night before, go to bed early, sign up for the class not the night before. Being consistent with my wellness schedule, I'm going to make my appointments at the beginning of the month, write them down on the calendar, and make sure that I don't put anything on my schedule that's going to interfere with that. And then also with the goal weight, I'm going to meal prep, meal plan, so that I will always have healthy, nutritious meals throughout the week. That's how specific you all need to be, y'all. But let's hear from you all. Let me hear. I should have went last, huh? Let me hear from you all. Okay, Miss Bev, you were done first, so let me hear from you.
Well, it's very simple. For my losing the 20 or 30 pounds, I need to get up at least early, 6 a.m. to get started.
Okay.
Because my other obligation starts at 8, so that'll give me a good hour, 2 hours to do what I need to do personally for me.
I like that.
Okay. For the second was to eat. Eating would be more baked food instead of fried.
Mm-hmm.
And don't eat after 5.
Okay. Okay.
Third, I know it, is need to start walking daily.
I like that. Those are very good. Greg?
Set a time to work out and really commit to it. I might
Yes.
have to change my time because evening time is where I normally do other stuff and it's conflicted, so
Yes.
might have to go to bed earlier.
Yes.
Get up earlier.
Yes.
And go and do it.
Yes. Yes.
Number 2, that's being more consistent. To cut more fat, target the areas I want to cut the fat when I do my workout.
Okay.
I'm really not gaining as much fat anymore, but I can still change my diet. Some changes I need to make, and to eat healthier, I gotta try new things to eat healthier.
Okay.
Certain things I just don't like, but I think if I can put them in a different recipe, I probably could eat them.
Okay. So that's good that you're open to trying new things. Because we were talking about that one earlier, change. It can be difficult, but it's doable. And that's how we grow, guys, when we do uncomfortable things. All right, KK, what are you gonna do? I've got
I
one
need to get
for you.
up earlier in the mornings and try to go back to the gym in the morning because I had been going in the evenings. Before I retired, I was going in the mornings.
Right, right.
And I need to cut back on eating sweets that I do regularly.
That's a good one.
And eat more healthy food. I don't know. I've always called myself eating healthy, but I guess not.
We're going to talk about that next. That's a good leeway. Yes, that's a good point.
Let's see, what is it? My goal weight is to get down to 100 and, well, maybe 30 or less.
Okay.
But I really didn't want to go back to Weight Watchers because I had thought about that. But I'm going to try it on my own.
Okay.
So, let's see if I can't lose this extra weight.
Okay, we're going to talk about that. So you're on the right path. You're in the right place. Okay, Sister Chisholm, what about you?
I say early morning, set a time to get up. I normally get up around about 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
I but I need to be walking at those times.
Yeah.
To motivate myself to stop eating late at night. And
Yes.
count my calories on my intake.
Now, that's a big
Okay.
thing you're doing. You gotta really work hard to
Yeah.
lose that weight.
Yeah. And we're going to talk
Put
about
down
that because it's not
everything
that
you eat
hard.
and count the calories.
Right, right.
Most of it are.
And you know what? And that's why y'all don't stick with it because that's not sustainable. Who wants to do that?
Not,
I got tired of it,
Exactly.
and I did it, and I lost. But
Exactly.
it's something you gotta wanna do.
Exactly.
Keep it in your mind.
I agree. I agree. But we also want to do things that are sustainable. And I don't feel like that is, but we're going to talk about that. But it works.
Now, I still count my calories.
Do you?
Yeah.
What good does
I
it do
watch-
if you're not
I see-
doing? I mean, if you're not
Because
losing
they
any weight.
add so
You know,
many
I heard people say that
ingredients that you don't even need.
I don't count
Right.
anymore.
But see, my thing is, how do you know how many calories you're supposed to be intaking every day?
Yeah. That's the important thing. You have to find out.
Because a lot of people think 1,200 around that for women,
right.
but it may be closer to 1,600 for men, depending on your goals. But I have found, again, I've been doing this for over a decade, that that's not correct. That's not correct. So, Greg, did you have something to say?
I was gonna ask, does it deal, the calorie count deals exactly with your weight? From what I've studied, and you're well studied, and you know
I
your
am.
stuff. Books I've read, talked about, just say if I wanted to be 160, I should be eating 1,600. And so, if I wanted to be 200, you know what I'm saying? Is that a good calculator or is it just bogus?
I think, okay, this is my thought on this, which I was going to get to later, but we can go ahead and come here.
Yeah.
This is probably a good place to put this. So we are all individually and uniquely made. And that's how I feel like we should address nutrition. It's very individualized. And I found that over the years, what works for me may not work for you and vice versa because we are so individually made. So I do think that those are just really not very individualized. And so I don't always recommend that to people. So that's my answer to that. Now, somebody else may say something different, but that's just my recommendations and my thoughts on how you should approach that. But I don't like the calorie counting method. I really don't like the Weight Watchers points. It does work, but I don't think that it's something that people stick with for long term because nobody wants to be at a restaurant. And I think it too kind of creates unhealthy habits because it's almost like it can become obsessive. Like you can just be like, oh, I can't have this because it's going to cause me to go over my calories for the day and I'm trying to get to this weight and so I think that can really kind of create some unhealthy behaviors over time. So I think when you just learn about food, which like I said, we're going to get to, well, actually, let's go ahead because that's my next point. About how, okay, so basically why I had us do this is because we need to develop a plan. Why we're not reaching our goals, guys, is because we're being too general. Saying I want to be consistent and go to the gym is not good enough. You need to develop a plan. How am I going to make this happen? Actually execute on the plan, and that's how you make your goals happen. That's why you're not reaching your goals, because you're too general. So rebuild your nutrition foundation. So what I have found after mindset's your number one on your health and wellness journey. But number two is that a lot of people just do not have a basic understanding of food and how it affects their body. So because you don't understand nutrition for so long, you've been relying on other people to tell you what to do. You've been relying on Weight Watchers to tell you what to do. You go on Google and you find something and you rely on that to tell you what to do. You see somebody with a body type you like, you ask them what they do and you try to follow that. And it doesn't work for you because they have a different body type. Their mother might have been 90 to 100 pounds their whole life. So their biological system is a little bit different than yours. Your mom might have been a little bit heavier. So I have found that when you're really able to understand nutrition, understand how food affects your body, what it does to your blood sugar, how much of certain things you should be eating, then that's when you're really able to change your life, and the weight will literally fall off of you. You won't have to watch how much calories you eat. You won't have to necessarily watch how much fat you eat. You will literally just understand it, be able to map it out, how much of each you should have in your mind, and go from there. So that's really what I want us to understand and know, that in order to be successful, you have to understand food. You have to understand how it affects your body. So it's important to develop a solid foundation in the area of nutrition. And so our diet should include a healthy variety of macronutrients. So usually when I do these classes, I have to skip over information because I've got a ton of people in here. But since it's just a small amount, let's talk about this. What are macronutrients? Does anybody know? What are macronutrients? And you know what? This is why we're not reaching our goals, y'all. This is the first step. Where my markers go? This is why. This is where we got to start. We got to start at the basics. Okay, that's a good start. Yes. So, all of the food that we eat are broken down into 3 categories, y'all. 3 categories. Your food is going to fall into 1 or 2 or 3 of these categories. So macronutrients. And then I'm going to write this. Y'all going to be like, oh, that's what that is? Protein. It's 3 of them. I say the big 3. Protein, in no specific order. Fat. Yes, Sister Chisholm, carbohydrates. Now let's stay here for a minute. What's protein? What foods fall into the protein category?
Meats, beans, nuts.
Okay. Let's stay with meat. Yes, that's going to be most of your protein are going to be your meats. What foods are fat? Nuts are really a fat.
Really?
Nuts are a fat. Yeah. They're fat.
But it's still a protein.
But it's a healthy fat if you like.
It's not considered a protein. It has protein in it, but
Walnuts,
yes.
those.
Yes, that's what we want to eat more of, our walnuts, our healthier oils like our olive oil, our avocado oil, coconut oil. Greg, you have a question?
I am shocked.
You're shook? This is why y'all need to be here. You're supposed to be here.
So peanut butter, now.
Peanut butter is a fat. Peanut butter is a fat.
It got nuts in it.
I mean, that's the problem. That's my problem.
So yes. So I grew up in the 90s era, but you all were alive in the 90s era. So you know that there was a big push for low fat, no fat, fat is bad, fat makes you fat. That's not true, guys.
That's right.
Fat is actually what's going to help get you skinny. It's going to help you to feel better, and it's really that missing link for a lot of us. And it actually may be what's holding us back from reaching our goals, because you may be eating the right types of fat, but you may be eating too much of it. Maybe eating too much of it, because even though it's good for us, it's very calorie dense, meaning that it has a lot of calories. And so if you eat too much, that could kind of deter you from your weight loss goals. So now let me say something about peanut butter right quick, because I am not an advocate of peanuts, and let me tell you why. Your kids and your grandkids, when they were in school, or if they are in school now, just think about this. What's usually like the number 1 food people are allergic to?
Peanuts.
So even though a lot of us don't have to have an EpiPen when we have peanuts, it does cause a small inflammatory response in the body. So I am not the biggest advocate of peanuts because it does cause some inflammation in the body. So I'm more of an almond butter, nut, and other nut butters like a walnut butter, cashew butter. Those are going to be a little bit better for you because they're not going to affect that system like peanuts do. Okay, what falls in our carbs category?
Bread.
Pasta and bread.
Yes, yes.
We know carbs. All the good stuff.
So what y'all don't realize too, fruits and vegetables are carbs. Fruits and vegetables are carbs, y'all. Okay? That's another reason why what's holding us back are carbs, because we're eating more of the refined carbs, which are your bread, your pasta, your cookies, your cakes, your ice cream. That's another part of the problem. Sister Chisholm.
What about bananas?
Bananas are a fruit, so they are going to be a carbohydrate, but y'all, yes. So this is why y'all should have been in my Facebook group this week. We talked about fruit. So the body, see, okay, look, y'all are in the right place. Usually I don't go here, but let's go here. So like I said, okay, yeah, let's use this as a teaching moment. So these are our 3 macronutrients: protein, fat, and carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the only macronutrient that are going to affect your blood sugar. The only ones. Protein and fat does not have an effect on your blood sugar. But when carbs hit your bloodstream, it causes that blood sugar to go up, to rise. So our body does not realize that we're in the 21st century. It thinks you're still in hunter-gatherer mode, that, that first of all, they don't even realize our society where we have all these cookies, cakes, and creams and ice cream. So where I'm going with this is, when sugar hits your bloodstream, to your body, it's just sugar. It doesn't realize that it's natural sugar, and it doesn't realize it's processed sugar. So it's still going to have that effect on your blood sugar. So of course, though fruit is going to be the better option, but you still want to be mindful of how much fruit that you're eating, because it's still affecting that blood sugar, guys. So, yes, good
I
point.
usually cook with honey instead of the cane sugar.
Yes.
Is that better than, or is that the same?
It's honestly about the same. It's about the same, because even though honey does have a lot of healthy properties, a lot of antioxidants, I mean, there's so many health benefits to honey, at the end of the day, it's still sugar. And it's got quite a bit of sugar. The kind of honey that I like, I believe it has 1 tablespoon has about 34 grams of sugar in it.
Yeah.
So you have to consider that.
What about raw honey?
And that's the kind I like, the raw, unprocessed honey. Still got about 34 grams in there. Now, obviously, it's going to be a better option than some of the stuff that we have out there, but it's still honey, it's still sugar, and that's what our body sees it as. So, yes, so that was a good stopping point with the macronutrients. But my point here, guys, is this is why, another reason why we're not reaching our weight loss goals, we're not reaching our general health goals, is because we just do not have a basic understanding of food. Okay, you have seen for yourself. You thought you knew something, but you learned something today. Remember that. Remember that. Remember that. Okay, so today we've identified, rewire, and rebuild. So we've identified the problem. What exactly has been holding you back from achieving your goals? And we said, what is the problem? Who is the problem? You're the problem. We talked about rewiring your mind. That's your most limiting factor, guys. That's your most limiting factor. Once you believe that you can do something, you just got to convince your mind and realize that you can do anything that you set your mind to. If you want to be a millionaire, you can be a millionaire. You just have to commit to it. Rebuild your foundation. Like I said, you've learned something today. And I promise you, there's a lot more that you don't realize you don't know. Okay, so let's talk about this, guys. I want to talk to you about somebody that went through my program. So he came to me. His name is Lee. He came to me because he wanted to be healthier. He realized that he was not going in a direction that he wanted to go in. So the first thing we did was we identified his problem. So his problem, kind of what Greg said, was that he had a busy schedule and he was just starting a new night job. He also said that he realized that he was eating out a lot and that he wasn't exercising the way that he used to. So he was having to go to the doctor more because he had high blood pressure and some other things. And he was a pretty young man. I believe he's like 41, 42. And so he was having to be prescribed more medications to control his his blood pressure. He had low energy levels throughout the day, and his weight was just steadily increasing. So he knew that he had to make a change. So, because he just knew he didn't want to live like that. Like, nobody wants to go around feeling drained all day. You know, it's no fun when you put your clothes on and you realize they don't fit and that you got to go buy new clothes. So he realized that he needed to make a change. And so after identifying the problem, we set goals and we made a specific plan. And so after setting his goals and a specific plan on how to reach those goals, I taught him the basics of nutrition and held him accountable with weekly check-ins. And so after 12 weeks, these were his results.
Wow.
12 weeks, y'all. 12 weeks, he lost 30 pounds. His doctor, he went to his cardiologist. His doctor was amazed where his blood pressure was and was happy with his weight loss. I mean, it was like a complete turnaround in a matter of 3 months. And he sent this. He said, so far I've lost 30 pounds. My blood pressure is great and I feel so much better. I mean, who wouldn't want that? He was on the verge of having to be put on more medications. He was starting a new job and he had such low energy. And you know that when you go to a new job, you need to be able to focus. You need to be able to be physically and mentally well. And so now he was able to turn everything around and feel better and show up as his best self. And something else, guys, that I don't really think that we realize is that people are always watching us. Especially people that love us, our children, our grandchildren. They're looking at us. And so his wife saw what he was doing and she wanted in on it. And she ended up losing 20 pounds. And she said that she's still pressing and that she's thankful that she found me. And so she said, kind of like what you all have been saying, I tried many diets and cutbacks. Nothing seemed to work. And I know that somebody said, I think it was KK, well, I'll just try this on my own. But what you've been doing on your own hasn't been working. So maybe it's time to do something a little different.
Right.
So let's revisit my initial point, y'all. Some of you have given reasons as to why you're not able to reach your goals. And if we're being honest, it all comes down to a lack of discipline and accountability. So what I really want us to understand is that we have to take responsibility for our health, because when we don't, we're subjecting ourselves to so many different debilitating diseases, and we're just decreasing our quality of life. And so, like I brought up earlier, we're Christians. We are people of faith, people that believe in God. And so do you really feel like, so we know in the Bible that it says that God wants us to have an abundant life. And so do you really feel like God would put you here on this earth and not give you the tools that you need to have an abundant life? And to me, those tools are not medicines, are not pharmaceuticals. They're not a lot of the things that we're using now, surgery. I could just go on and on about that. So if you really feel that way, then you know that you literally have everything that you need on this earth. God has provided us with to have the most abundant life. And even if, like I said before, like if we're even getting out of the health conversation, God don't want us to be broke. Like, we don't have to be broke. And some of us are broke financially and broke minded. You come to you and you just the most negative person in the room. And like I said, as Christians, we should be the most optimistic, upbeat people around. And so I really just, like I said, want us to realize that you don't have to live with type 2 diabetes. You don't have to have high blood pressure. You don't have to be overweight. You don't have to have low energy. You can literally be healthy and be free and be full of energy and be your ideal weight. All those things are possible. And so, does anybody know who this man is? Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi. So let's talk about Dr. Sebi briefly. So Dr. Sebi has scientifically proven to have cured AIDS, cancer. We're building all these cancer institutes, cancer, sickle cell, herpes through natural foods and plants. So let's stay here for a second. So he was claiming to have done all these things, to have healed all these people, and to just have the cure for these things. So the government got wind of this, and they were like, like, what's going on? Like, you claim to do all these things. Like, we're about to take you to court and help people to see that you're not what you're talking about. So they took him to court, y'all, and he won the case. He beat the case, y'all, against the government. He was able to successfully defend that he had healed people of these diseases, y'all.
Wow.
He healed them. He won the case. Now, people have their thoughts about what has happened to him. And all I'm going to say is you may be right. But you don't hear about this because the pharmaceutical company is $1 billion industry. Probably at this point, $1 trillion industry. So if it got around that people were being healed, like I said, we're making we're making all these cancer institutes, we're doing all these things. So if wind got round that, you can heal yourself through the things that have been given to you on this earth, that's going to put the pharmaceutical companies out of business. And so that's why we don't know about this. That's why we don't hear about this. And so my point is, guys, if he was able to cure these things, which are viruses and really diseases that people feel like they're stuck with, what can he do with type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure and different things like that? It's reversible through the food that we eat, the plants that we've been given, and also the things that movement, sunlight, the list goes on. So this is even more proof that we have the ability to take control of our health with the things that we have been given here on this earth. So you don't need prescription medicines. Now listen, I'm not telling you to stop taking your medicine. I don't want you to stop taking your medicine if you're on medicine, but what I want you to realize is that you can be freed of that. You can be healed of that. Yes.
I don't take any synthetic medication. I do the herbal.
Yes.
I've been doing it for 30, 40 years.
Yes. And honestly, you can even, if you're optimizing your diet and you're doing different things, you can probably even be healed of that, because back in the day, were there supplements?
No.
There were plants.
No.
We got it from plants and stuff, but
Supplements are the plants now today, isn't it?
for the most part, some of them,
You have
yes.
to be really
Some are
careful.
synthetic.
Yes,
You have
yes.
to be careful.
Because there are some fillers and different things, so you do have to be kind of mindful of the different things that you're using. But what I want us to realize is that we don't need prescription medicines. We don't need bariatric surgery. We don't need liposuction. What you need to do is to get your mind right and make the decision to take control of your health, guys. And it's doable. You can do it. And so I have a question for you all. What if I told you I had a solution that would help you stay on track, teach you the basics of nutrition, and jumpstart your goals for the new year, for this year, for the summer, wherever you want to go, whatever it would be? Okay, you're in the right place, and you need this. I'm telling you, you need this. I know from just that short lesson that we just did, you need this. So the Bangin' Body Bootcamp, y'all, is a 4-week group coaching program that will educate you on the basics of nutrition, hold you accountable, and provide you with a sense of community, because you're not going to be by yourself. You're going to be with like-minded individuals that want the same thing, to be healthier and to be healed. And so the core pillars are what we just discussed today. We're identifying the problem, which is you. We're rewiring your mindset. You can do anything that you want to do. Rebuilding your nutrition foundation. So this, guys, is what we get into. Let's talk about it. We've talked about macronutrients today. We dive even deeper with that in the program. Specifically how much of each that you should be eating, and specifically diving even deeper into how they affect your body. So diving deeper with macronutrients. Ideal plate. What should your plate look like for breakfast, lunch, dinner? Should you be eating snacks? If you do eat snacks, what should your snacks look like? I found that a lot of us that's another reason why we're not reaching our weight loss goals, is because we're snacking all day. And you're snacking on the wrong
It's
stuff.
not all day, it's what you snack on when you snack.
Okay, y'all are still snacking on the wrong stuff.
I snack all day. Yeah, I'm telling you, you just blew my mind with the nuts, because that's what I eat.
Yeah. And listen, Greg,
Walnuts and almonds is what.
and listen, your mind's going to be even more blown. So stick around. But we talk about that. Meal planning and meal prepping, y'all. You are not, I feel strongly about this, confident saying this, you're not going to reach your goals without meal planning and meal prepping. You're just not. Now, of course, that's going to look different for everyone. Some people are able to go to the store, get their food prepared for the week, and you're good. Some people, you need to outsource. You need to go ahead and find a reputable meal company and buy your food from there and have a plan. Or you need to, if you're not a grocery store person, you feel like you don't have enough time. We've got Instacart now. You got people that will literally go in the grocery store and do the shopping for you. There is no excuse. You've even got companies that send you the ingredients in the box, give you the recipes, and all you got to do is go in the kitchen and make it. There are so many options. But the point is, you have to have a plan. Without a plan, you're not going to reach your goals.
What about Meals on Wheels? Are those good?
No,
deals? Okay.
no, they're terrible.
Yes, I thought.
I'm trying to see, do I want to stop and talk about that or not? Because I have a lot to say about that.
Yeah, my brother gave me some meals and I said, oh Lord, I wouldn't eat them, but I have tried to eat.
Well, I thought,
I'm trying to decide I wanna stay here.
To the elderly people or disabled, that they were good protein.
Okay, I'll stay here for just a second. They're terrible, and let me tell you why. So they base the Meals on Wheels. So let me tell y'all something. The government is corrupt, if you all don't already know that by now. And even when it comes to the food system, it's corrupt. And so when I was in school, like I said, I went to school in 2000. I became a dietitian in 2011. So what I learned was the food pyramid. So the food pyramid is, I know you all have heard of it, but primarily it says that your diet should be comprised of grains. Grains, bread, beans, like all this stuff. But that's really what's contributing to making us fat. But what we don't realize is that the government works with these food companies. And so when they're promoting certain foods for you to eat, they know that you're going to buy it because you don't know any better. You don't understand food and how it affects your body. So whatever they tell you to do, you do it. And so that's how our food system is being structured, because that's what they base government programs off of. So Meals on Wheels is a government program. So they're structuring whatever the government is telling them. That's how they're structuring their Meals on Wheels food. And so I just said they're corrupt. They're promoting foods that they're getting money from. So it's not healthy. I guess long story short, I'm just trying to say it's not healthy. Those meals are trash, and I hate that because a lot of people that have those Meals on Wheels, that's their only option. But unfortunately, it's killing them slowly. So order of foods. So believe it or not, y'all, there's a science to the order that you should eat your food that's going to help you to lose weight and balance your blood sugar. Believe it or not. Yes, science has proven this. Science has proven this, the order that you should eat your foods in order to help you lose weight and control your blood sugar, which is what you said you want to do, control your blood sugar. So we talk about that in the program. Proper hydration. How much water should I be drinking every day?
Yeah.
Exercise regimen. So I'm not a personal trainer. I am a dietitian and a nurse. So I don't tell you what exercise to do, but I tell you I help you to find something that you're actually going to be consistent with.
Proper hydration.
Okay.
Is there an issue with purified water?
No, at all. So matter of fact, which I said I was going to get more into this program, our water is corrupt. Our water is not corrupt, but it's tainted, y'all. It's filled with a lot of bad chemicals for us. We don't need fluoride in our water. You just need to take better care of your teeth. But you don't need fluoride in the water. There's a lot of chlorine and different things. Right. So I always recommend having purified water. Now, if we dive even deeper into this, I wouldn't even get it from bottles. I would get a water system because plastic is toxic. So we do get into that as well. We will this cohort. So because there are a lot of things that are toxic, y'all, that we're putting onto our bodies every day, that we're doing every day, that's really bad for us. Stress management. We talk about that, guys, because what we don't realize is we can be doing everything right, but when it gets out of balance is when it becomes detrimental to your health. So it causes, when you're stressed out, cortisol levels go up. That causes you to store more body fat, specifically around your belly area. So we talk about how we can manage stress and why you should be doing literally everything you can to manage your stress. Sleep. That's a lot of our problem too, y'all. Y'all not getting enough sleep. So we talk about how much sleep you should be getting and why and what sleep does for us. Detoxification pathways. This is something we don't talk about enough. But did you know that your liver is your powerhouse? Everything goes through the liver. And so our society, the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, the different things that we're doing pollute our bodies. And so over time, that does cause the liver to become sluggish. And so we may not be detoxifying things adequately. So we talk about how we can keep those pathways clear. And we also talk about how often should you be having a bowel movement? How often should you be urinating? How often should you be sweating with or without exercise? We get into that, guys, because those are things that we should know, because when we start eating better, those toxins have to have a place to go. So if you're not having a bowel movement every day, if you're not sweating, then those toxins are just continuing to build up. And that's what's happening to a lot of us. And once you get rid of those, you're able to feel a lot better. Sunlight. Everything God made was intentional. Sunlight is not just to give us light, but it's also to give us energy. So literally, we're like plants. We have these things in our body called mitochondria. They're the powerhouse cells. And so your mitochondria, one way it's able to recharge is through the sun. So you need to be getting sunlight every day. And we talk about how much sunlight you should be getting. And if you're not able to get it, some alternative methods. Mindset, like I said, that's your number one. Once you're able to master the mind, you can do anything. So we talk about that. And then wellness therapies, cryotherapy, hyperbaric chamber. We're diving deep, y'all. Hyperbaric chamber, compression therapy, infrared sauna, red light therapy. We're going to talk about all that and why you should be doing that, because it's literally going to take your health to the next level. Once you get your nutrition right, once you start moving your body, those things are going to take you to the next level. That's why LeBron James is able to be 20 years in the NBA, be 38 years old, and be killing it, be doing better than some of these 19 and 20-year-olds, because he is taking care of his body, and it's never too late. Yes, Greg?
I have one more question.
Yeah.
I'm asking a legal question.
You need to be in this program. At your side. You need to do it.
That we buy at the store.
Okay, yes, let's talk about
Do
it.
we need to be washing the fruit the way, I've seen online that you're supposed to put vinegar on it or hot steaming water over our fruit because of the things that they use to make it look better, the things,
Yes, that's a good point.
The parasites and all that stuff that you got to, keep the bugs off and all that stuff. Is that what we should be doing, or we should just be washing it off with warm water?
Just run the water over.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
That's what I was taught, just run warm water over it.
Because I like to dive deep with you all, because I think sometimes we don't dive deeper into things. So like I just said, our food system is very corrupt. And when we've got gardeners, and I think Miss Bev is a gardener. So, okay, so you've got these farmers and things that are the help with our food supply. So they're got all these crops and they're growing to sell and to provide us with food. So when you're growing produce, and really even when you're growing plants, what is the number one thing that you have to deal with?
Insects.
Number 1 and 2. I knew you were going to say that, so that's why I said number 1 and 2. Okay, after bugs, what is the second thing that you're dealing with when you're growing a bunch of produce or just plants? Weeds. Weeds. So think about when you go to the country and you're passing these big fields. Like for us, if it's in our yard, we just go in and we pluck the weeds. But they've got acres and acres and acres of land. They can't go and just pluck it, and they're trying to make money. That's their number one thing. So what do you all think they do to control the weeds?
Pesticide.
Weed killer.
They get Roundup. Now they've gotten so efficient, they get crop dusters that are filled with it, and they just spray the field. So they don't care about y'all. They're not washing their produce off. So they're growing it, they're spraying it, and they're selling it. So what do you think? Should you be washing your produce?
Wash it good.
And that's what we don't realize, y'all, is that that's getting in our bodies. That's another reason why our bodies are not working as efficiently as they should. It's destroying our body, is slowly causing it to deteriorate. So this week I was in my Facebook group, and that's what we talked about. And so one thing that I encourage people to do is there are certain foods that you need to buy organic. And there are certain foods and that's their method. So we talk about that in the program too. I'm telling you, I'm expanding the program, but where we're going to talk about that. What foods should you be purchasing organic? What foods are okay to not purchase organic? Because you need to know that. But know that, yes, I would definitely make sure that I just go above and beyond to clean it. And vinegar is a great one. Vinegar is a great one. And that's the most cost effective.
I wash my meat.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of
Yeah.
people don't, but I wash my meat off before I cook. You know, because a lot of people just take it out of and cook it. You know, but then
They do.
about how they prepare your meat, they're not just really conscious of making sure the meat is clean. They cut it up with all sorts of things, and for me, I wash all my meats.
Yeah. So that's how I was raised, to wash my meats. I know that some people recommend not washing it because it can, because when you wash it, like things start spraying everywhere, and they're like, you may be doing more good than harm because,
Like what?
yeah, like contamination. Like when
You
you,
mean in the sink?
right. So that's what they were saying. But I think if you properly wash your sink afterwards and just make sure you wipe everything down, then you're good. But, I'm getting to the point where I don't trust anyone or anything. So I would say wash to those nutrition topics. And so how that works is, y'all, every week we're going to go live in Zoom. And I'm going to have a nutrition topic that I present for that day. And then you all are going to be able to ask questions. And then you're also going to be able to, we're going to really support each other while we're in this group. We're going to hold each other accountable. I'm not just going to be the only one holding y'all accountable. Y'all are going to hold each other accountable. So that's the really good thing about this group, is that you've got support and people that are going to be on you about what you said you were going to do.
Could I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do you provide the types of food for that week? I mean,
What do you mean?
This is good for this week, whether it's the right.
Yeah.
Different type of recipes that you.
So that's a good point, because this also includes a sample meal plan. And so I give you like a week's worth of meal plans for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if you're a snacker, which we talk about that in the program, I give you some snack ideas. And so, and then in addition to that, I'm going to be teaching you what you should eat. Like what macronutrient, like we're going to break down the macronutrients and what types of foods that you should be eating that falls in those categories. So yes, so we talk about it, and I do give you something to help you see what that looks like. In addition to, we get into that. And so in addition to that, your meal plan, our weekly calls, you get a deep dive with me. And so in that deep dive, I say, okay, Miss Beverly, what does a day in the life of Beverly look like? What do you eat? What time are you waking up? What are you eating? How much of it are you eating? Like, we dive deep because I need to understand what you're doing so that I can correct it. And so that's what I do. We together, after I understand what you're doing every day, I develop a plan for you to follow. Basically an individualized nutrition plan, because like I said, nutrition is individualized.
Are we in a group doing this, or are you just one-on-one?
So this is just your one-on-one with me. You're on a call. This is just you and me. And once we get a plan, you're going to have access to the app that I have. And so in that app, I'm going to put off a checklist. Beverly's going to drink this amount of water every day. Beverly's going to if you're in the grocery store, if you're at a restaurant, because we're going to talk about that, y'all, because you're not going to be able to eat 100% clean 100% of the time. You are going to have to go to a restaurant. You are going to have to go to a party. So we talk about what that looks like. But you may have a question at one of those, so you'll be able to access me at that anytime. So now, before I go to the next slide, I want us to understand, y'all, it is an investment. And so imagine if your kids saw you eating better, if they saw you taking care of yourself, getting enough sleep, managing your stress, losing that weight, balancing your blood sugar, getting off of those meds. There's no price that you can put on that. And in addition, who have we become? Who over the years have we ended up becoming? Our parents.
Yeah.
I'm Robert and Anita combined, because that's who I've been around most of my life. And so you literally have the ability to impact generations to come, generations that are here and generations to come. Because if they see you doing these things, slowly they're going to start implementing. You literally have the influence to change generations. And think about white people. I'm just always so amazed. And of course, you know, we can go to slavery and we have all these things, but now, guys, we don't have an excuse. But I think about just the things that they've implemented in their kids. I see a lot of young white people at my gym. They're exercising, they're eating right, they're taking care of their bodies. At my gym, there's not a lot of blacks. And the ones that are there, they're old. So my point in saying that is, yes, it's an investment. Yes, we're the ones getting this bariatric and lipo and BBLs. And you really don't have to, because your butt is a muscle. So really, if you did some squats and you really did some things, you don't need a BBL. You can do all those things naturally. Okay, Joshua. Man, your butt is a muscle.
And we're losing our lives for it too.
Yeah, people are dying from it. So I'm not giving you a lot of time to decide. Usually when I offer this, I give y'all like 1 or 2 weeks to decide, but I'm done doing that. Like, you're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. You know, and I'm tired. It's been a long week and I'm tired. And I'm not going to go with this uncertainty, guys. You've got to take control of your health. You've got to do this for not just you, but for your family. It's so much bigger than you. And we've got to stop being selfish when it comes to this. And I think we got to think about, too, I serve a God that owns everything. If this is something I really want to do that's important to me, God's going to find a way. And when you sow sparingly, you're going to reap sparingly. And when you sow bountifully, you're going to reap bountifully, guys. That's not just when it comes to money, that comes to what you put into yourself. So when you sow into this, you are going to reap so many benefits that you never thought you'd be able that you never thought you would see. So this is the investment, guys. It's $497. If you need to do installments, you can do 2 payments of $249. But this isn't a $1,000 program. It really is. It's really probably, my business coach told me it's even more than that. But because you're here, because you're committed to your health, because I know you need this, $497. And you know what? If you commit today, I have a discount for you, because you came in the rain. This is just something that came to me just now. I really wasn't planning on doing this, but if you commit to me today, I'm going to give you a discount. I'm not going to tell you how much, but if you do it, I'm going to get you a discount, because you came in the rain. You came when it was cold. 2 of y'all already told me y'all were looking for that cancellation email. So if you go ahead and sign up today, I do have a discount for you. So,
do you have
So like I said, we get started,
Go ahead.
we get started Monday. So today is the day, guys, to sign up, make the decision. So I don't know if y'all can see this, but it's a testimonial from someone that's been in my program before. And they said, Maggie's boot camp changed my life. I feel so empowered. I know I need to pee too. I really didn't keep playing. I'll keep y'all this long. I feel so empowered. The information was presented in a fun, relatable way. There was never a question left unanswered. The group sessions helped me stay accountable. The support and encouragement were constant, and it just felt like I was part of a big family. The coaching style is such a good balance of kind but firm. I really feel she can transform anyone's life. I highly recommend the program if you want to change it last. And that was Sister Moore's niece, Claretta, and I think she ended up losing like 20 pounds, quite a bit of weight. And then I won't read the whole thing of this, but basically she said that this was a game changer. The tips that I provided really encouraged her. It wasn't restrictive because we don't do diets because diets aren't sustainable, guys, and you're not going to follow it. So the daily task was a helpful reminder of what I needed to do. And now I can truly say it's become a habit, just something that I do naturally. If you're looking for a jump start and making a change to eating healthy for life, this is it. And you know the thing about Weight Watchers? They want you to keep coming back. That's why they don't teach you about food, because they want you to keep coming back. So I teach you where you can go on in the wind and live your life and be healthy and make it a lifestyle. So this is just one more. I'm an excellent health coach, very supportive, practical information, non-judgmental. That's important. You want to do somebody that's not going to be non-judgmental. And she just felt very empowered to reach her goals. So thank you all. I've kept y'all a little late, but we got a late start with that random man. But thank you all for being here. And like I said, the time is now to take control of your health. There is no better time. So I really hope that you all learned something. Thank you all again for braving the rain and the cold. Because I don't think I said this to Kay, but I looked out this morning. I was like, Lord, I know these folks about to stay in this bed, but but y'all didn't, and I'm glad you're here. So thank y'all. That's the end.
I do have one more question.
Okay. Go ahead.
I said I should have brought my son. I told him I was coming out to the church, but I didn't tell him for what. But he has gotten into trying to lose weight,
Mhm.
it all.
Mm-hmm.
And he tried different things, and I really don't know. I think he should have come to this class.
He should have.
Absolutely.
He should have.
Well, that other thing, what is it? Nutrition, they get the stuff through the mail, deliver it to you and all that stuff.
Nutrisystem, I think. I don't know.
They got,
Yeah.
They got so many new ones now.
Right.
Noon.
So my
Yeah.
question would be, what time do you have the meetings? Because my schedule is not consistent.
Sure.
So what time do you have the meetings? Do you have it in the evenings, throughout the day? How long is because you're doing the Zoom meeting, how long is the meeting? Because if I sign on, I want to be consistent.
Sure.
And so I have to put in my schedule, at this time, I can't do anything. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
So we're going to meet Monday at 6 p.m., but they will be recorded. So if you can't make it at that time, then you can watch the recording.
And I still have 24 access, so if I had a question, I can.
Right. So with that, I'm going to ask you.
Right, how that can work, though, because it's recorded. And if I had questions, I can.
Yeah. So you can, if there is a night that you can't watch, like I said, and you have 24/7 access to me, honestly. So after you watch it, if you have a question about anything, all you got to do is either pick up the phone or call me, or you can text me. Because you may have information. And then, like I said, we're going to have that deep dive together, and you'll be able to ask questions, and we'll really dive deep there as well. So
after or starting today, we need to be committed with our finances as well as our being committed, with your group and getting started.
okay, let's talk about that. Can I unmic? Can we just have a conversation? Can we just end?